pink version of the book. B for blackmail, C for coercion, question mark? Honestly, no words.
The romance is a slow burn, 100%.
If you hear things that are not pronounced well, then that's really none of my business. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be doing another reading vlog, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to be filming this video across 3 months, so it's finally live and you're watching it. So please do subscribe. Please do check out any of my other videos if you're into reading romantasy or fantasy romance. Also if you're into science videos, because I plan to make more science videos. Look out for that as well. But in today's reading vlog, we're going to be reading 2 books. Book number 1 is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I've already read last year, so this is gonna be a reread for me. The book is based in like a fantasy version of London, and I live in London, so I loved all the like British references. And also book number 2 is coming out in July, which I've already pre-ordered on Amazon. And also we've got more exciting stuff happening in this vlog because I have ordered a fairy loot version of book number 1, The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, on Vinted, which is my favorite app of all time. I spend way more time on Vinted than I want to admit, and I look forward to unboxing this with you because it's a pink version of the book, and I love nothing more than a pink book on my shelf. I didn't buy the original because it had a black cover, and I love reading romantasy, but I don't love when every single cover is mostly black because I want my shelves to look really colorful. Before we get into all of that, today's drink of choice is an iced matcha maple flavor, which I've never had before, so I'll let you know if I'm enjoying it. That tastes really interesting, but really good. It's just slightly sweet. So let's get into this unboxing. Oh my god, how beautiful is this book? There's something about fairy books that just takes my breath away. So we have this front cover with it, which is the dust jacket. Then we have these sprayed edges, which, honestly, no words. This is so beautiful. And then it goes on like this, and then on the back, this color is just amazing. So the reason why I bought this book was because of the hardcover. It doesn't actually have the title of the book, it just looks like a book of potions, and I honestly love this. Like, you could not convince me to check out any quicker. Like, this is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Got this artwork on the inside. It's got this artwork on the back. And then on the inside is the original cover, which is cute, just not as cute as this cover. So this is the book. I'm gonna start reading it with you very soon. Happy Friday. Today is the day that we are starting The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I love this book, but whenever I tell someone the book I'm reading and I have to say this really long ass title, I do find it a bit funny. The life of a romantasy reader, am I right? But today's a Friday, and I thought it is the perfect time for me to start this book. Like I said, I've read this book already last year and I really liked it, so I really hope I still like it. It's the second time around because sometimes I'm just worried I won't like the book as much. I'm gonna try and go through maybe 2 to 5 chapters today because I'm heading out in the evening to meet up with a friend for drinks, so I'm not gonna have time to read in the evening as much as I normally do. But then I also don't have a very busy weekend coming up, so I'm hoping that I can get some of this reading done and I can share with you guys some quotes and how I'm finding this book the second time around, because I'm sure I'll notice a lot of new details, which is really exciting when doing a reread. But that's the plan. I'm on chapter 1, and tell me why the chapter is called Irresistible Bastard Meets Immovable Bitch. I mean, why not call it that? Also, the book comes with a pronunciation guide, which I will not be reading. So if you hear things that are not pronounced well, then that's really none of my business. Now I know why I love the MMC so much, because he's so funny. Like, let me read you a quote. So he goes, "How shall I convince her to assist? Seduction? Question mark." There's another quote here that goes, "She's a Helen. She'd soon walk into the Thames than help you. Perhaps we can equip you with a plan B and a plan C." And then he goes, "B for blackmail, C for coercion? Question mark." I mean, this is hilarious to me. So the way people travel in this world is via waystone, and basically there's these stones that you can put your like hand on, and then they will like teleport you to a different stone. I think it's trying to be like reflective of the London underground system, with like each stone being like a train station. What's also really funny in this book is that each stone is usually at a pub, and the pubs have like really funny names. Like the first one's called Publish or Perish. I think this is one of the reasons why I like this book so much the first time around. Like it takes place in a fantasy version of London, and the author has taken their time to incorporate all of these like London British references. And I think if you live in London, it's so funny because I mean, I would love to travel via these stones, okay? Because the London Underground is a pain. So if I had this option, I would be signing up, okay? So I just finished the first chapter, which is actually really long, but the chapters in this book are like 15 to 20 pages, so a lot longer than the other romantasies I normally read. But I thought I would give you guys a little breakdown of what happens in the story because one, I forgot how hilarious this book is, and two, I just love it so much. I think sometimes romantasies can be so heavy to me personally, but this one is just so funny and so lighthearted, and every single interaction that these characters have, I'm literally like laughing out loud. So we have the FMC, and she's a healer. In this world, there's different orders that you can join by studying. So you can become a healer if you study enough, and when you become a healer you also inherit like a mark on your palm. If you're a healer, you have a swan. Another types of orders that are out there are the assassins. There's a lot of other ones, but they're not really that important for the story. And our MMC, he is part of the assassin. So he's an assassin and he has a mark on his palm, which I think is an animal skull. At the beginning of the first chapter, we learn that our MMC has a disease. So in this book, their magic system basically follows the human lymph system. Basically, your magic flows through your body, but your magic system can develop a rot, which means that you will slowly lose your magic and then you'll die, basically. And this is what our MMC has. We learned this in the first chapter, and he basically needs a healer, and he knows that our FMC, which is called Orienne, she is actually the best healer possible in this domain. So he's trying to find a way to convince her to help him, either bribery or blackmail or kidnapping. What I love about Osric so much is that he's such a villain, but like unapologetically. In the first chapter, we also have them meet for the first time. So this book is written in third person, but each chapter follows either the FMC or the MMC. So it's kind of from their perspective, but obviously told in third person. Also, I love a scientist FMC baddie because I'm a scientist and I love that representation in books. So he sneaks into the research center that she lives in and works in, and sneaks into her office and basically like waits for her. So she comes into her office and she's completely not impressed by him at all. She actually thinks he's someone else. So instead of being scared of him, which is what most people would do if you have like an assassin in your house, she's like very casual about it. And he's trying to convince her to basically heal him, but obviously she says no. Something else that's going on in this world is children are affected by this pox, this disease that they can't cure. Our FMC is working on trying to treat all these children. So when Ostrich is not getting a response out of her, she keeps refusing to heal him, he offers to pay her 20 million gold coins that would go towards this pox research that she really wants and that she's not been able to get approved. And then one of her supervisors comes into the room and is like, we've got another like research grant denied, we don't know what we're going to do about this pox, like we're running out of money. And then that's how basically her supervisor convinces Orienne to heal Osric. What happens in the rest of the book is they work together to try and heal him. This is honestly my petition for stopping authors from using TikTok slang in their books, because tell me why we're using lost the plot in a fantasy book. There's honestly no reason. And the book would be just as good even without the TikTok slang. I don't know, I don't understand why they do this, because it just takes me out of the story.
Let's do our lip combo together while we talk about the book, because I'm 125 pages into The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. So the first thing is that this book reads more like a contemporary romance than a romantasy. I think if you're used to reading a lot of high fantasy, a lot of like high stakes romantasy with like a lot of battles and a lot of action, this book does not have any of that. The things they go through are not necessarily very life or death, high stakes, action movie-like things. I feel like I can't do this and talk at the same time. This is my absolute favorite lip liner, is the Rimmel in Cappuccino 705. I think everyone and their dogs has this lip liner. And then as lip gloss, I'm gonna do this Refi. I think that's how you say it, right? Shade Red. Something else I wanted to say about this book as well is that it doesn't end in a cliffhanger. You know, the story will be evolving. There will be a second book. The story does not feel finished, but it doesn't end on like a big cliffhanger that you'd expect in like a Fourth Wing or in like a Star Side by Alex Astor. It's a lot more calm and mellow, which I think is the whole vibe of this book. Something else I wanted to say is that also I think this book is very much character-led, and it's also romance forward, in the sense that the romance is a slow burn 100%. There is no spice in this book, so their relationship sort of like really takes off towards the end, and even then there's still a lot of questions or of whether or not they will end up together. Every interaction they have, even though it's for the plot of the book, it's still, in my impression, designed for them to bond and to get to know each other. And I think if you take the romance element completely out of the story, I don't know if you're left with much else. Like the way our two main characters come from completely different worlds, and the way they are genuine enemies, and the way they struggle to like understand each other, because we have on one end a healer. Our FMC dedicated her whole life to healing people, and then we have our MMC, which is an assassin. So the morals required and the like mental gymnastics around how they can even spend time together in the first place, and how that feels like a betrayal to each other's profession in a way, is the biggest like foundation for this book. You see them slowly open up to each other and understand each other more and learn things that are like below the surface that they wouldn't have thought about each other, because they judged each other quite harshly based on the orders they belonged to at the beginning of the book. I really, really hope I'm explaining it well.
I've officially finished The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I know I said I was gonna take it slow and I was gonna take my time with it, and I finished it in 3 days, okay? This is just how I like to live my life, okay? Sometimes I just, you know, I make the rules and then I don't stick by them. So I loved it. I loved it the first time around, and I loved it the second time around, okay? I'm now even more excited for book number 2. That is coming out in July. So we still have about a month to wait for it. So I'm gonna put a pause on this vlog. Today's the day, guys. Today is July 7th, and it's the release of The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy book number 2, which is the sequel. And I am very excited because I've pre-ordered the book on Amazon, as I probably mentioned about 1,000 times in this video. But in the meantime, I thought we can do a little book haul, because I went to TK Maxx yesterday and I realized a lot of the books on my TBR are in TK Maxx, and they're also on sale. Okay, so the first book I found in TK Maxx yesterday was The Spark of the Ever Flame by Penn Cole. This has been on my TBR for ages, and I just can't believe I found it for $7.99. I have no idea what it's about, so I'm probably gonna go in blind. And look how pretty the chapter pages are. I feel like I go to TK Maxx every day and there's always something different. I went there last week and this book was not there, because you know I was checking out the book section, okay? Next book on our list is The Love Haters by Catherine Center. The reason why I got so excited when I saw this book is because I'm currently reading one of her other books, and it's my first Catherine Center book. It's called The Shippers. And when I tell you, I had such a hard time getting this book yesterday because I couldn't buy it on Kindle for some reason, and it's not on Spotify Premium as an audiobook. It's not on Kindle Unlimited. I feel like her books are really, really hard to find. So this is another one of her books that is on my TBR. The final book that I found in TK Maxx yesterday, which I'm so excited about, is none other than the very popular YA book, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Okay, again, I caved and I bought Once Upon a Broken Heart. Everyone online has been talking about how amazing this book series is, and it is YA. And if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I don't really read YA. There's just, you know, at 27, I don't want to read about 15 or 16-year-olds, even though I know a lot of YA books are amazing. I think I just prefer to read about a bit of an older audience. Let's read the back together. It says, for as long as she can remember, Evangeline Fox has believed in happy ever after until she learns that the love of her life is about to marry another and her dreams are shattered. Desperate to stop the wedding and heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with a charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that bargaining with an immortal is a dangerous game. It's definitely giving YA with the 3 kisses, not gonna lie. But I'm here for it, okay? Okay, you guys, so the book has arrived. It's in this package, and let's open it together. You guys have a look first. I can't believe I'm holding this, you guys. This is so pretty. Okay, so the second book is here. It's called The Exquisite Torment of Loving Your Enemy, and it's the color theme for this book is purple, and it has this beautiful foiling. Hopefully you can see that. And then the edge, and then the back. So the book has a summary of everything that happened in book number 1. And then we start off with Ostric's POV, which is really exciting. I'm gonna go to a workout class after work, and then I'm gonna start reading this immediately and let you guys know what I think. Good morning, guys. So let me catch you up on what's been going on, because yesterday I had an office day and I came home. I didn't do any reading until 7 p.m. And when I came home, I literally started this book, and look how far along I am in it. I literally read half of this book yesterday in one go. Let's catch up on my thoughts about book number 2, because I thought it was really good. Okay, I'm gonna get it out of the way and think it's really good. Do I think it's as good as book number 1? No, I don't think it is as funny or as witty as book number 1. For me, in the first book, I was genuinely laughing out loud. I found a lot of the jokes really, really funny, whereas this one, it's trying to be funny. I just don't think it's as funny in the delivery as book 1, but we still have a lot of the banter that I really enjoyed between our 2 main characters. I was also last night tabbing the book by just turning the corners, which I know it's criminal. Don't come for me, okay? I was just so tired, and I really wanted to not forget all of these cute moments that happen in the book. Book number 2 basically picks up exactly where book 1 left off. If you've read book 1, you know there's a beautiful sunset scene at the end, and book 2 picks up right where we left off. We follow both characters and also what their thoughts are about the developments related to book 1. I'm trying not to give any spoilers, but if you've read book 1, you know there's a bit of an emotional roller coaster towards the end. We get to learn a lot more about what our main characters think and how they feel on the inside about what happens. Still stand very strongly in terms of the fact that this reads more like a contemporary romance than a romantasy. I think a lot of people who read these books and are disappointed are so because they expect a really high stakes, a lot of plot twists, which is, I guess, the norm with romantasies, but this book I would say reads more like a contemporary romance. So in terms of the plot, I would say it follows the same storyline and the same vibe that we had in book number 1. If you've read book 1, you know kind of the gist of how the plot unfolds, and I would say it follows the same theme and the same vibe in book 2. I would say the biggest change in book 2 is on like the emotional front. I think if you read the title of the book, then you probably know what to expect, but it focuses a lot on the torment that both of our characters are experiencing. I personally loved it. This book does have spice in it. So book number 1 has no spice in it. For those of you guys who are interested in knowing, book 2 does have spice in it. If that's not something you're interested in, don't worry. I'm sure you can just skip it and it won't unpack the story too much. Am I confident that I'm gonna finish this book today? Probably. It's currently 8 a.m. so I feel very confident that I can do about an hour reading this morning. I'm genuinely hoping to get through this book today, which is insane because that means I would have finished this book in 2 days, and that should be criminal because I've waited for this book for so long. Okay, so let me read you guys some quotes I tapped last night. So Ostrich goes, very well, we should sleep if you can manage to sleep next to me. And then Oriane goes, there probably aren't many safer places for me to be. Excuse me, how cute is that? Despite the title, I would say this book is still a slow burn. If that's something you loved, then don't worry, it's still in this book. So let me catch up with you guys once I do a bit more reading. So I've had my lunch and I spent about an hour reading this morning, and then I'm gonna do about 15 more minutes of reading now. But I just wanted to let you guys know that with all the reading I've been doing, I'm currently on page 253, and that is chapter 21, which is so far into this book, and I can't even describe to you guys how much I'm enjoying this. Okay, I think I love this couple so much that I could read like 5 books about them. The reason why I like them so much is because they're both so guarded, and it takes them so long to open up to each other, and even when they do, there's like so much hesitation. So like seeing them slowly open up to each other and like come to terms with their feelings for each other, I just find that so wholesome and so sweet. Something else that also makes a comeback in this book is the cricket, which is basically a cricket that critiques you and shouts insults at you. So we know from book 1 that Ostrich has one in his home that continuously screams out insults at him. And in this book, this cricket, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is basically now having full-blown conversations with Ostrich, and I found this interaction so funny. So Ostrich goes, he stared at the nobly suffering man in the mirror. Eye bags. He had eye bags. What is wrong with me? Do you want the list in alphabetical order? Came the voice of the critique cricket. Or chronological. I could also organize it by theme. You look like shit, said the cricket. It almost sounded concerned. So I marked this down because I thought it was such a funny interaction, because how many times have I said to myself, what's wrong with me? So to have a voice get back to you and be like, would you like a list in alphabetical order? I thought that was really funny. So I'm gonna keep reading, but so far it's looking like I'm gonna finish this book today, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself once I do finish it, because I would probably have to start and reread book number 1 again, because I just want to be in this world so badly. This is just one of my favorite romantasy series, probably of like all time. You guys, I finished it. I can't believe I finished this book in 2 days. I spent the last like 15 minutes googling the author to try and figure out if this is gonna be a trilogy, or if we're gonna have a continuation of the story, or what her next book's gonna be, because I love this so much. Okay, the fact that it takes place in a like fantasy version of London, but it's not too heavy on the fantasy, and it's like very heavy on the romance. For me, I think this sits up there with Fourth Wing as like my favorite romantasy series. Like I look forward to buying the Fairy Loot version of this book when it comes out, and like displaying both of the books on my shelf. The way it ends, it implies there could be potentially a continuation to this story. I think there's a big reveal in this book as well. I think for me it wasn't as shocking as I thought it was gonna be. I think I spent a lot of time trying to figure out and to like solve the big reveal, and I think when it happened I was a bit like, oh, okay. Because the romance is so strong in this book, the like plot in the background almost doesn't matter as much as it would in a romantasy, where the fantasy is the main element and the romance is a subplot, if that makes sense. If you're one of those people who just loves like fantasy over a romance, I would say probably this is not the book for you. But if you're a romance girly like me at heart, because I will be a romance lover through and through, I will love the romance in every single movie I watch, in every single book I read. Like I will be there for the romance more than I'm there for the fantasy, for example, or like the murder mystery, for example. I think I will just always love the romance a bit more, but that's just me like, as a person. Something I struggled with in this book is visualizing certain things. I think in this book we explore some of the other orders that are in this kingdom. So because we explore this order, for example, a lot more in this book, I just felt like I didn't have enough context around them. Like, I don't know if I'm really invested in this. I feel like we didn't set enough ground with all the other orders in book one. And even in this book, I think that we talked about some of the orders, and I was like, I'm really struggling to visualize what this looks like in the real world. Like, there were some descriptions, but I think they were like too brief. And I was like, I feel like I'm not able to visualize what we're dealing with here. Similarly, I think there's a lot of like kings in these books that I don't think they get introduced much, except maybe mentioned here and there. So then when they are brought up throughout the book, I'm like, I feel like I don't know anything about this character. Like, I don't know why I should care about this character. So I think that could have been done better. But I don't think I love this book because it's perfect in every single way. I love it because I think overall it's a great story. So I rated this 5 stars. I will probably be buying the Fairy Loot version. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do an unboxing when it arrives. So for those of you who are interested, this is going to be my next read. I'm probably going to start it tonight because I am a psycho and I just can't stop reading. If I'm at home and I have nothing to do, I will be reading until my eyes fall out. I've ordered a Fairy Loot version of Shields of Sparrow, book 1 and 2. Now, I haven't read this series at all, and I honestly have no idea when they're arriving. This is my first order with actual Fairy Loot, so I'm hoping that they will come soon and then we can read them together in a video just like this. But yeah, I think that's everything for this video. If you're still watching at this point, then put a purple heart emoji because this book is purple in the comments, and I'll see you guys in my next video.